forgotten. I'm like, oh, I finished that thing, and I'm wearing this awesome, item I bought from the speaker, but it doesn't earn you anything. So I think that's a really cool change and a very smart one.
Overall, we're trying to make Destiny the Taken King more rewarding, so that you have a clearer path between yourself and the thing that you want to acquire.
Yeah.
So there's bounties, there's quest lines, there's a lot of different ways that you can work with the gunsmith to get new weapons, different ways that you can work with the vanguards to acquire class-specific items. There's even warlock-specific weapons, titan and hunter-specific weapons. So we're giving you a lot of different ways to customize your Guardian in ways that take the guesswork out of what should I go and do next in Destiny.
Yeah, and I think that's super smart. So tell us a little bit about what we're seeing right here. This is actually some of the most extensive footage we've seen of missions so far.
Yeah, so this is story content. This is an excerpt of the first mission that you'll embark on in Destiny the Taken King. You've been given a mission to go and investigate a Cabal base. They've issued a distress signal across open space, very uncharacteristic of the Cabal. They're very secretive military organization. So if they cry out for help, there must be something serious going on.
Yeah.
And immediately, the base is sort of cloaked in intrigue. There's mysterious rifts in space-time, and we're encountering these new enemies. This is the Taken. They're combatants from the known universe that have been ripped out of our dimension, corrupted by the darkness. As you can see, these Cabal phalanx, they have new ways to fight, they have new ways to move. You're not going to be able to anticipate their attacks and their defenses because they're an all-new enemy for you to fight in the Taken King.
Yeah, and so are you going to be able to play on Phobos other than the story missions?
Phobos is a playable space that is home to this specific story mission.
Gotcha.
So there isn't a patrol on Phobos.
Okay.
The new destination in the Taken King is the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
So this is the Hive ship. It is Oryx, the Taken King's capital ship. You can patrol it. It's home to its own story missions, its own strikes.
Yeah.
It's home to King's Fall, which is the biggest raid that we've ever created. So I know you're going to get in there and you're going to form up a fire team and go tackle everything that has to offer.
Yeah, how does that work then? So Dreadnought, I thought originally was basically just, it was going to be like Crota's End. You go, you hop into the raid, that was it.
Nope.
It's huge, it sounds like, in there.
Yep, it's a large destination. It's got its own bounties. It's got new activities. It's got things like the Court of Oryx, which is a player-instigated public event that pits you against different combinations of bosses in different scenarios. Again, we're putting a lot more control in the hands of the player as to where your Destiny adventure unfolds. And the Dreadnought is great evidence of a lot of the new things that the team is doing to change the way you play the game and to change the way it rewards you.
Are you going to release the raid with more than one difficulty at the beginning? You always got to keep a few secrets.
I got to keep a few secrets back, and I never know what Luke wants me to say about the raids, so I really err on the side of being conservative.
That's fine. You have to save a little something there.
Of course.
So let's talk about one of the really big things that's come up. You are ditching light in terms of it affecting your level.
Yes.
40 is the level cap, correct?
Yes, and so you obtain the level 40 cap. You get to the top of the leveling system by playing the game. The things you do, the enemies you kill, the missions you complete, they all earn you experience that contributes to your level. So by playing the game, you reach that level. Your light is how powerful you are. It is a combination of the power, the attack and defense ratings on your weapons and your armor. So there will be certain missions that say recommended light, of a certain number. And so you want to equip yourself accordingly.
So light is still important, it sounds like.
Light is still absolutely crucial to your survival. But in terms of how do I reach level 40, again, we're taking a lot of the mystery out of that. Keep playing the game.
So the important question is, I'm at level 34 now.
Yeah.
What happens when, we make this changeover? Do you kind of get, permanently fixed at 34 because I've completed all the stuff in, up through House of Wolves? How does that work?
You'll take your first step into the Taken King at the level that you've attained, and then there's new things for you to do to reach new and higher levels.
So if I'm at level 26 right now and I boot up Taken King, am I locked at 26?
You're good to go. You're good to go, but there's things for you to do, there's missions for you to play, and you're going to start to elevate above level 26 very quickly. Now here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Let's say you're level 12, which I know you're not.
Yeah. One of my characters, maybe. No.
So that character, you can benefit from a new consumable that we're giving to every single player of the Taken King. Every single player gets a boost consumable. So if you're brand new to Destiny, your friends finally talk to you into playing Destiny, you're stepping onto the battlefield at the beginning of year 2, you have your boost consumable, you apply it to a Guardian that you create, your Guardian is instantly poised at the starting line for the Taken King and ready to fight.
At
now,
level 34 with this consumable?
At the appropriate level to begin the adventure.
Which you're not talking about.
Which I'm not talking
yet.
about. And in fact, I think they're even refining these things, so I'm going to give them the room they need to make those final decisions.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of what you were saying too, is like, because depending on the gear you're wearing, you're not at a particular level. It sounds like you're still figuring out how you started a certain level.
It's just, like what's your weight class? How hard are you going to punch?
That's fair.
And
well,
then,
I'm a 34.
For me, I'm a warlock.
Yep, same.
Okay, so have you ever rolled a Titan? You ever rolled a Hunter?
Yeah, no, I'm actually waiting. I have 2 Warlocks, and the Titan I was going to do for House of Wolves.
So I'm kind of coveting this new Solar Titan. I look at that armor inspired by, the Sunbreaker. The armor's badass. The Hammer of Soul. Just like throwing flaming hammer bombs at people.
It's hard to not be incentivized to start a Titan.
It looks pretty cool. So with the boost consumable, I can start my Titan, and I'm good to go. I don't have to do Eyes Up Guardian. I don't have to go through the year 1 content. I've played that stuff for a year. I'm ready to jump into the Taken King, and I'd love to do it as a Titan. So that boost consumable is good for veteran Guardians and brand new additions to the community.
Okay. And how is that consumable cheap? Like, how do you get it?
It's going to be available to you in the tower.
Okay, so you sort of go and grab it. It's that easy. It's not something special.
Easy. Yep.
You guys are taking some of the thinking out of Destiny. I think I like that.
Well, yeah, we're gonna let you spend your thinking on how do you solve these puzzles? How do you work with your friends? How do you overcome these obstacles? How do you finish these new missions? There's still a lot of riddles and mysteries. Like when you're patrolling the Dreadnought and you're experiencing these new bounties and these new activities, you're going to discover resources that will help you unlock other rewards. And it's not going to be instantly obvious to you as to how that works. So what we're doing is we're letting you focus your mind on the fun things, the fun mysteries to solve, mysteries involving the story, mysteries involving plundering this spacefaring fortress of treasures. What we're not making you solve the riddles of are, how do I reach level 34? Just keep playing that raid. Oh, I played the raid and I'm not level 34.
Yeah.
Just keep playing that raid.
Yeah, I mean, some of the original fans, I think, liked some of that challenge, but I also think just there's so much content now in the game that, taking some of that complexity out is really, a smart move.
We've said on numerous occasions that one of the things we learned from the first year of Destiny is we want to be more respectful of the player's time, and we want to reward the player's time. If you're playing the game and you're having fun, you should have something to show for it. And the Taken King has a lot of more specific pathways that lead to those things.
That's great. I'm going to hold you guys to that one, because that's one of my big things, is that I love playing, and I never want to feel like I spent 6 hours and it didn't turn out good because the role didn't turn out.
Sure.
So I'm really looking forward to Taken King and all that it has in it, and hopefully that's kind of how it pans out. So one of the other really big important questions, what's coming on this one. Fatebringer is a legendary weapon from year 1. You have said that year 1 weapons will not be upgradable against the new weapons. And would love to hear if there's a little bit of why is that? Why is the new set of weapons so important? But also, what does that mean if I love my Fatebringer? It's going to be a very hard mode, maybe? If you love
your Fatebringer, there are still a lot of great places you can use it.
Yeah.
Normalized Crucible, where power is on an equal playing field, your Fatebringer is still going to be a force to be reckoned with. And these year 2 Guardians who use their boost consumable are going to say, where'd you get that? It's like, let me tell you where I got my Fatebringer. So, there are still patrols where it's going to be relevant. Obviously the Crucible. Obviously when you go back and you play the old raids, it's time to, dust off that vision of Confluence.
Yes.
Somebody says, yeah, I started playing Destiny, just this past September, and everybody tells me the Vault of Glass is amazing. It's like, let me dust off this vision of Confluence and let me talk to you about the oracles.
Yes.
So there's always the perfect tool for any job in Destiny. So those year 1 weapons are absolutely going to be relevant. Don't dismantle them. There's still going to be a time when you need to use them. In the Taken King, we are delivering to the tower the largest arsenal that this game has ever seen. That includes Destiny Year 1. New weapons, new foundries of weapons. Haka, Omelan, Soros. You've seen these Haka crates in the tower since the game launched. We're going to open them. These near future militaristic auto rifles, ton of fun to use. Omelan weapons with scientific experimental energies coming into play. Soros, the elegant designers behind the regime. Customizable, upgradable, different optics, different talents. That's the Destiny experience. I have a new gun that I'm upgrading and it's awesome. I have a new shotgun that changes the way I fight. I have a new sniper rifle that kills enemies in new and surprising ways. It's the act of discovery and becoming that makes being a Guardian interesting, and we're leading people down that path again because there are new enemies to fight, more powerful foes. When you see Oryx, it's going to make Crota seem like a distant memory of a fonder time. You're going to need more powerful weapons to meet these rising threats, and that's the experience that we wanted to give people in year 2.
Okay, so maybe a good way to cap that off is I think House of Wolves has left people feeling a little bit like, right, there's so many weapons, there's so many different roles you can have that in some ways weapons weren't as special, I would say, personally. I felt that way with House of Wolves.
Okay.
But Fatebringer is. And so I feel like that's now in the new, I'm like, oh no, but one of my favorite guns, and that, you know, everybody's got their favorite guns.
Sure.
How does Taken King address that? You know, that how do I know going into it right now, because you know how we are as Destiny fans, that I'm not going to arrive at, man, I love that gun so much better. Why'd they nerf it? Why'd they take that away? Because this new hand cannon's not as good. Yeah,
well, this is the challenge for us, is to create things that you always want to do. If we created Destiny that was a game where it was just another Destiny game is coming out, which I like to call more aliens for me to kill with my Gallarhorn, I think people would probably accuse us of design failure. We want to give you new things to experience all the time. New places to go, new ways to upgrade your Guardian, new enemies to fight, new weapons to use, new subclasses to learn how to master. You know, the act of playing Destiny is all about evolving a character, and using the same weapons for the next decade wasn't really part of that vision.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to put it. So yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's pretty excited to see what you guys have to offer there.
Yeah.
Could you address with a little bit of more coddling here for me and the players out there? Gallarhorn.
Yes.
You know, you guys come out and say, look, we're just going to kind of touch the trackers a little bit, the Wolfpack rounds, and everybody freaks out. How would you address them right now? You know, they're worried. You know, should they be worried that Gallarhorn is, like, what's the objective in that? Is it too powerful? You know, I think there's a couple of minds, is that one version is Gallarhorn's amazing, it takes forever to get, and it's super special to me to have that superhero weapon. That when I go in, I wreck shop. And then the other side is, like I feel like I have to use it all the time because it's so powerful.
It's the only thing. It's the only logical choice, right? And we sort of warned players before the launch of Destiny, if there is any one logical choice as to how to play this game, our goal as developers, you know, the goals of our design team is to keep you guessing, to keep you thinking about, I'm going into this tactical scenario with these people on my fire team, with these enemies in play in this mission. What am I going to equip? What am I going to bring? And if Gallarhorn is an obvious choice, then we'd like to provoke you to think a little bit more about your loadout. Like I said, Destiny shouldn't be Gallarhorn Simulator version 4.0 in a number of years. You know, Destiny should always be, here comes another Destiny game. What am I going to equip this time? What's going to be my favorite weapon in this year of Destiny? Those are some of the best, you know, like conversations that you see among like seasoned veteran gamers. You know, it's like, what's your favorite weapon from any game ever? You know, and it's like, these are fond memories that you have about adventures that you've gone on and games that you've played. You know, there are still going to be missions where you're going to use that Gallarhorn. There are also going to be weapons that maybe start to catch your eye. You know, it's like, I never thought about truth as something that I should equip. I never thought about these other weapons in this arsenal that I never gave a chance because I just spent year one shooting everything with Gallarhorn. And here are all these other weapons that were worthy of your time and fun to shoot, you know, and strong in their own ways, but they never even had a chance, you know, they never even had a chance for your attention.
So that's great to hear that way, right? I'm of that mind. I bought Truth. I love the look of it. And I had trouble understanding at first that it would just, I was not convinced of why isn't it as good as Gallarhorn. And so I love hearing that you guys are addressing that. I actually think it's the right direction to like load out a different weapon for crying out loud.
Something the team wants to do more often too. You know, I mean, Thorn has been a dominant terror in the Crucible for far too long. That's something we're addressing. I miss my Shadow Price and my Suros regime, and I've always been an auto rifle guy. You know, let me say what you will. I'm spray and pray. I'm not precise. You know, I'm a hot mess in the Crucible. You know, so if I can just corner you and hold down that trigger and hope for the best, you know, I want my auto rifles back. And
you guys are addressing that too.
That's something we're addressing with Update 2.0. That's going to be the biggest wholesale adjustment to the Destiny player experience that you know, seasoned Year 1 Guardian has ever seen. We've updated the game over 30 times based on our own, you know, response to the product and the players, based on their feedback. So Destiny Year 2 is a chance for us to kick things off with a lot of different ways for the game to behave.
That's great.